For more, let's bring in NewsNation national security contributor, retired Air Force Lieutenant General Richard Newton. General Newton, good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Always good to be with you.
Good to be with you too, sir. I have to ask you, we're starting to see the Biden administration ramp up its rhetoric about Israel's military conduct in Gaza. Here's Secretary of State Antony Blinken yesterday on Sunday. I'll get your comments on the other side.
Given the totality of what we've seen in terms of civilian suffering, in terms of children, women, men caught in this crossfire Hamas is making, who've been killed or been injured, it's reasonable to assess that in a number of instances, Israel has not acted in a manner that's consistent with international humanitarian law.
General Newton, it's important to point out that Mr. Blinken and recent U.S. report stopped short of making a flat-out conclusion. But how concerned should Israel be to hear Secretary of State say they likely violated international law?
Well, it's very concerning and, frankly, from my perspective, very disconcerting that we would be publicly, with these statements from the Secretary of State, if you will, nearly lambasting Israel at this point, where they're at the height of now moving into the center parts of Rafah, as Robert reported. And so it becomes even more of a challenge for Israel as they're fighting not only now what's becoming more of a guerrilla force with Hamas, but also fighting off some of the outcries from what was ostensibly their closest ally, the United States. So these are remarks, I believe, and discussions, I'm sure, that are going behind the scenes. But I would prefer the Secretary of State to do this quietly behind closed doors. But nonetheless, we are where we are. Israel is moving into, as I mentioned, into the outskirts of Rafah, but now moving into the center part of the city. All the while, Hamas, some of the remnants of their militants, their terrorists, have now leaked up into the center part of Gaza and even to the north, which is very, it's a tough fight for Israel on all fronts.
General Newton, none of this happens in a vacuum. Why is it then, do you believe, that Blinken is making these statements publicly? Because I agree with you. These are the type of negotiations that often happen behind closed doors. So the public statement is definitely intentional. Why is that?
Well, it's confounding. First, let me say also, Nick, that negotiations are still underway. And so that's also important, that they're undergoing these negotiations to set the conditions perhaps for a ceasefire. That would include Israel, obviously, Hamas at some point, Qatar, Egypt, and the United States. But nonetheless, it's confounding. I don't really have a particular sound reason as to why he would be going publicly at this point, other than the administration feels that their only leverage right now is to go public and create these public statements. It's actually creating the other effect, where I think it's really stiffening Prime Minister Netanyahu and his Israeli war cabinet to continue with the operations. Speaking of the operations right now that are undergoing, I see, since you and I have been talking about this for months, it's evolving now into more of a, what I would call a guerrilla force fight. We're not going to see a large shock and awe. We're certainly, I don't believe, going to see, extraordinary offensive operations that we saw several months or so ago when the Israeli Defense Forces went into Gaza City in northern Gaza, if you recall. And so they're going to be doing more what I call small-scale contingencies, more anti-terrorist, counterterrorism maneuvers. But it's very confounding for the Israeli forces because they are, Hamas is coming back in small elements in the central and northern part. And that the concern part is that new entry point that Robert reported on also in the northern part of Gaza, where you're going to have humanitarian aid and food and supplies coming into the Gaza for the innocent, non-militant Palestinian civilians who are suffering at this point. Once they are entered into Gaza, the tough part is with these new Hamas fighters that are showing up in the central northern part. What will be the care and efforts to make sure that those supplies get to the needed civilians at this point?
General Newton, less than a minute, two quick questions for you. The New York Times reporting that U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies believe Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar never left Khan Yunis in northern Gaza. If that is true, what does it mean for Israel's operations in Rafah and the opposite end of the Strip?
Well, it shows that the area of operations that Israel's now going after is not just consumed in the north. It's going to be consumed or disregarded in the south. It's going to be consumed in the north. And so trying to find, fix, and target Sinwar, who is the leader of the Hamas forces inside of Gaza, indicates perhaps the strength of Hamas, as we see using these tunnels.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.